Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. Has the GNT-TUF negotiations been jeopardized following the conclusion of negotiations with the Police Welfare Association? President of the St. Lucia Teachers Union and the TUF, Julian Monrose, is of the opinion that united public servants stand and divided, they will surely fall. Solange Alfred explains.
The Police Welfare Association has successfully concluded negotiations with the government negotiating team ahead of other public sector unions. The association signed a collective agreement for the period April 2016 to March 2019 and April 2019 to March 2022. On the other hand, President of the St. Lucia Teachers Union, Julian Monrose, says the move by the PWA will not take away from the continued efforts being carried out by the Trade Union Federation on behalf of its affiliates.
The police going ahead, it has never happened. It has never happened in the history of public sector negotiations where any one group actually signs ahead of the others. The last time, some years ago, the police had accepted, but they did not sign ahead. This time they have done that without a consultation with the rest. And we respect the police right, the PWA's right to conclude these negotiations. The only thing that we're saying, the rest of us in the Trade Union Federation, what we're saying is that we are not obliged by any means to follow or to go through with what the police had agreed with in the GNT. We are going to be negotiating in our own right, and we will be following the mandate given to us by our membership.
Did the police jeopardize the negotiations for the TUF members? Monrose says no challenge facing the members will be too daunting once a united front is maintained.
Anytime we are divided, it makes life a little more difficult because there is strength in unity, and if all of us are together under one umbrella, it makes it easier. But whatever the challenge that may come up is not beyond the Trade Union Federation, it's not beyond the individual affiliates of the Trade Union Federation. I can speak, for example, for the teachers, members of the Teachers Union. They are very eager to see that the negotiations are concluded. In fact, I can tell you they are very restless where this matter is concerned. And we know that if needs be, we can call on them to give direction to the process.
Monrose says the negotiations between the government negotiating team and the Trade Union Federation is going in a direction that most members would be content with.
When the Trade Union Federation met last week, Thursday, and we did an assessment of where the various affiliates were with negotiations, most of them reported that the GNT had met with them and given them responses to their proposals, although one or two areas remained to be ironed out. For the St. Lucia Teachers Union, they met with the GNT yesterday, and where responses were given to the proposals of the St. Lucia Teachers Union. That meeting went very well. There's still one or two areas also to be ironed out. Our first meeting on that matter will be held on Friday, May 41st.
He clarifies the next steps forward for the affiliates of the Trade Union Federation is to meet with the GNT to discuss salaries and wages. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
With youth unemployment on the decline, the Department of Statistics has outlined some key factors that have contributed to the drop and say now is the time for youth to market themselves as the demand is available for continued growth in the workforce within key sectors. More in this report.
Recent announcements made by Prime Minister Alan Shasney stated there was a decline in the unemployment rate in St. Lucia. Acting Director of Statistics, Sean Maffrey, provided a breakdown of the labor force survey, which was used to compile data which resulted in the pronouncement.
It's a household survey, so the enumerators would visit households that, as per the sample, and persons would be interviewed as it relates to their employment status. That survey collects a wealth of information as it relates to the employment status by sex, by youth specifically, and more importantly, the youth. The recent results of the survey as it relates to youth employment revealed that despite the fact that the youth population has been growing, the number of youth that have gained employment has been growing at a faster pace.
Further expounding on the numbers was statistician at the Statistics Department, Ermine Gray. She highlighted the main element which attributed to the decline in unemployment as an increase in trade.
As it relates to the first quarter 2019 output of the labor force survey, we realized that the unemployment rate decreased by 4.3%. Right now it stands at 15.5%. Compare that to 16.2% of the last quarter of 2018. The key drivers in relation to the reduction stems from wholesale and retail trade and accommodation, food and services.
Gray says the numbers are now in the favor of the youth, who she advises to capitalize on the upward trajectory of employment by marketing themselves as employable and taking every opportunity given to advance themselves academically.
Based on statistics, it shows that the market is growing. Youth unemployment rate is going down. It tells you that you need to educate yourself. You need to put yourself in a position where you're able to gain employment. And presently, this is one of the things that youth in our society needs to grab a hold of: education.
The statistician revealed, after analysis, the information is provided to the Department of Economic Development Research and Policy Unit to incite new policies and enact change. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
The water and sewage company Wasco has refuted claims that dangerous chemicals are used in close proximity to the John Compton Dam. This follows allegations made by Millet resident Justin Arthur, who says he continues to plead with the company to stop the practice of spraying a dangerous chemical near his property. Wasco denies the claims.
A disgruntled resident of Millet, living in close proximity to the John Compton Dam, Justin Arthur, made serious accusations against Wasco regarding the use of toxic chemicals only a stone's throw away from his dwelling. Other claims made by the resident include an influx of dust entering into his home with every passing of Wasco's heavy machinery in their continued effort to desilt the John Compton Dam. Responding to the accusations, Communication and Marketing Officer at Wasco, Sherry-Ann Gillard-Williams, says the company firmly denies the claims of Arthur and in no way would jeopardize the water quality by spraying hazardous toxins near the dam.
The Water and Sewage Company Incorporated would like to address claims leveled at us by a resident of Millet who incidentally lives very close to the dam, and we have been informed that the allegations around the use of dangerous chemicals by Wasco around the catchment area, we would like to categorically deny those claims. And I'd like to just, for your information, tell you what exactly is going on. With regard to that resident, we have in the past had several incidents of threats leveled at our workers who are trying to make their way to the catchment area or to the dam. And we have involved the police. We have filed several reports against this individual, and we are having the police to pursue that matter because we want to press charges against this individual.
She insists a continued effort advising individuals from bathing in the catchment area or tampering with the water near the dam is being advocated. Gillard-Williams says the greatest safety standards are always upheld by the company with every action they take.
We want to reassure the public that Wasco operates within the strictest safety standards and that we do not carelessly use chemicals near the dam. Of course, we know how important that facility is. We know that the John Compton Dam feeds or provides supplies water to the entire north of the island, and we would in no way do anything that would compromise the safety of that water supply and that water source.
A move to relocate all residents away from the dam was initiated years ago, says Gillard-Williams.
if memory serves me correctly, there was a move by the government to relocate the residents who were in close proximity to the dam several years ago. That has been done for all but one of the residents who continues to reside in that area. We want to assure St. Lucians that there is no action on Wasco's part that compromises the quality of this water, and that we continue to operate within regulated safety standards.
With the second phase of the John Compton Dam looking to begin in June 2019, which would include dredging of the reservoir and transportation of sediments, Justin Arthur says he is concerned about the impact on his home due to the dust from the works. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Sola Alfred.
On Tuesday, the 28th of May, between 3 and 4 a.m., the John Compton Dam experienced a power outage. Communication and Marketing Officer at Wasco, Sherry-Ann Gillard-Williams, says this unexpected occurrence greatly derailed Wasco's efforts at supplying the north of the island with water.
The power outage affected the pumps that pumps raw water into the Cicero treatment plant for onward distribution to households. As a result of that power outage and the decommissioning of the pump, we saw the levels at the reservoir at Cicero drop significantly. And as a result, we have been receiving calls from the public with regard to the water supply interruptions that are already being experienced by several communities, several residents and communities in the north of the island. We want to let residents know that the situation has normalized. We no longer have the power issue. However, it takes a little bit of time before the reservoir levels can be restored.
Gillard-Williams says a level of normalcy may return during hours of low water usage.
Or what we have been told by our technicians is that normally the reservoir levels are restored during the periods of low consumption. So that would mean in the night, for example, the water levels would have normalized. So people can expect later this evening to experience water supply interruptions or low pressure, and of course it may exacerbate the problem that already exists with the low water supply that we are currently experiencing because of the dry season.
She made an appeal for public patience while Wasco attempts to supply water to residents in the north of the island. You're watching the Hot 7 Nightly News. We have more news coming up after the break.